Welcome back to B&B Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the explosive developments that are reshaping the landscape of our beloved soap opera, with relationship dynamics shifting dramatically and characters facing life-altering decisions that will reverberate throughout Los Angeles for months to come. The Bold and the Beautiful's latest storylines are weaving an intricate tapestry of family loyalty, forbidden temptation, and the consequences of ultimatums that threaten to tear apart even the strongest bonds. As we delve into the complex web of relationships currently unfolding, we're witnessing character growth and regression that perfectly exemplifies why this show has remained a daytime television staple for decades. The most compelling development centers around Sheila Sharp's newfound connection with her granddaughter Luna Nozawa, a relationship that has quickly evolved from tentative acknowledgement to fierce protection. This grandmother-granddaughter dynamic has become the emotional anchor for Sheila, a character who has historically struggled to maintain healthy relationships due to her troubled past and questionable decision-making. Industry insiders reveal that the writers are intentionally exploring Sheila's maternal instincts as a path toward potential redemption, giving the character layers that extend beyond her traditional villainous role. Deacon Sharp's ultimatum to Sheila represents a critical juncture in their marriage. By demanding that Sheila choose between her husband and her newly discovered granddaughter, Deacon has inadvertently created a situation where he's likely to lose regardless of the outcome. Production sources indicate that upcoming scenes between these two powerhouse characters will feature emotionally charged confrontations where years of unresolved issues bubble to the surface. Deacon's inability to understand Sheila's desperate need for family connection demonstrates his own limitations and perhaps suggests that their relationship was built on a foundation less solid than either of them believed. Sheila's refusal to abandon Luna comes from a place of profound emotional need that transcends her marriage. After decades of rejection, alienation, and failed attempts at forming lasting bonds, Sheila has finally found someone who shares her blood and doesn't immediately judge her based on her notorious reputation. This connection represents not merely a family tie, but a chance at the redemption and acceptance that has eluded her throughout her tumultuous life. Psychological experts consulted by the show's writers have suggested that this relationship could be portrayed as Sheila's last chance at emotional healing, making her unwillingness to compromise entirely understandable from a character development perspective. The confrontation between Sheila and Deacon will likely culminate in Sheila turning the ultimatum back on her husband, essentially challenging him to accept her complete identity, including her role as Luna's grandmother, or risk losing her entirely. This narrative choice brilliantly highlights how ultimatums often backfire, forcing the issuer to reckon with consequences they hadn't fully considered. Veteran soap opera analysts predict that this storyline will evolve into an exploration of whether Deacon truly loves Sheila unconditionally or merely the version of her that fits comfortably into his life. Behind-the-scenes sources reveal that the production team has planned several powerful scenes showcasing Sheila's determination to maintain her connection with Luna regardless of the cost to her marriage. These moments are designed to illustrate how family bonds, particularly newfound ones, can fundamentally alter a person's priorities and perspective. The writers appear to be constructing a narrative arc that will force Deacon to significantly adjust his expectations and perhaps grow as a character if he hopes to preserve his relationship with Sheila. The parallel storyline involving Will Spencer, Luna Nozawa, and Electra Forrester provides a fascinating counterpoint to the Sheila-Deacon-Luna triangle. At the upscale restaurant Il Giardino, a venue that has historically served as the backdrop for numerous pivotal moments in the show's history, Luna has been aggressively pursuing Will with an offer that's as tempting as it is potentially destructive. Her proposition of a physical relationship on the side represents a direct challenge to Will's commitment to Electra and serves as a test of his moral character. Luna's approach to seducing Will reveals much about her character's psychology. While presenting her offer as a casual arrangement with no strings attached, her underlying motivation appears far more calculated. Character development notes leaked from the writer's room suggest that Luna genuinely believes she can supplant Electra and Will's affections once she's established a physical connection with him. This strategy demonstrates Luna's competitive nature and perhaps indicates that she views relationships as conquests rather than partnerships based on mutual respect and emotional compatibility. The situation is particularly precarious for Will, given the current state of his relationship with Electra Forrester. Production insiders confirm that the couple has been taking things slow, with physical intimacy notably absent from their relationship thus far. This creative decision by the writing team creates a realistic tension that many viewers can relate to: the challenge of balancing respect for a partner's boundaries with one's own physical desires. Will's growing frustration with this aspect of his relationship makes Luna's proposition all the more tempting, despite his apparent emotional commitment to Electra. Monday's upcoming episode, which has already been screened for select media representatives, will feature Will firmly rejecting Luna's advances in a scene described as powerfully restrained. Will's decision to remain faithful to Elektra despite his physical frustration demonstrates a maturity that the character hasn't always exhibited in past storylines. However, the writers have intentionally crafted this rejection in a way that leaves the door open for potential weakness in the future, creating a lingering tension that could play out over an extended storyline arc. Psychological consultants working with the show have noted that Will's situation mirrors real-life temptation scenarios where initial resistance doesn't guarantee continued resolve, especially when the temptation remains persistently available. This nuanced approach to character development allows viewers to question what they might do in Will's position and creates a more engaging viewing experience than a simplistic moral tale would provide. The consequences of Luna's pursuit will eventually come to light in dramatic fashion. Multiple sources confirmed that during the week of March 31 to April 4, Elektra will discover Luna's inappropriate advances toward Will. This revelation will trigger a confrontation between the two women that promises to deliver some of the most explosive scenes of the season. The confrontation has been choreographed to include both verbal and potentially physical elements, with the production team taking special care to ensure that the emotional intensity feels authentic rather than manufactured for shock value. The discovery of Luna's actions will force Elektra to confront her own role in creating the situation that made Will vulnerable to temptation. This self-reflection could potentially lead to growth in her character and evolution in her relationship with Will, assuming they can navigate the trust issues that will inevitably arise. Relationship experts consulted during the writing process suggested that this storyline could realistically explore how couples recover from near infidelity and the communication necessary to rebuild trust. What makes these parallel storylines particularly compelling is how they will eventually intersect through the Luna-Sheila connection. As Luna becomes more integrated into Sheila's life, the ripple effects will impact all the characters involved. Production sources hint at a future confrontation between Elektra and Sheila regarding Luna's behavior, potentially creating unlikely alliances and unexpected conflicts across family lines. The writing team has carefully constructed these narratives to explore universal themes of loyalty, temptation, family obligation, and the consciences of ultimatums. By presenting characters with morally complex choices rather than clear-cut right and wrong scenarios, the show continues its tradition of creating storylines that generate discussion among viewers about what they would do in similar situations. Costume designers and set decorators have also contributed to the storytelling by using visual cues to reinforce character motivations. Luna's wardrobe has reportedly been designed to contrast sharply with Elektra's, emphasizing their different approaches to femininity and attraction. Similarly, the Sheila-Deacon confrontation scenes will take place in their shared living space, with the set arranged to visually represent the emotional distance growing between them. Music supervisors for the show have selected emotional underscoring that subtly enhances the tension in these confrontational scenes without manipulating viewer reactions. This attention to detail in production elements demonstrates the show's commitment to creating an immersive experience that respects the audience's intelligence while still delivering the emotional impact that soap opera viewers expect. As these storylines unfold over the coming weeks, viewers can anticipate emotional revelations, difficult choices, and potentially relationship-altering decisions for several key characters. The writing team has planned at least 3 major plot twists that sources describe as genuinely surprising yet completely consistent with character motivation, suggesting that even longtime viewers will find themselves unable to predict exactly how these complex situations will resolve. The Bold and the Beautiful continues its legacy of exploring human relationships in all their messy, complicated glory. By focusing on the gray areas of morality rather than simplistic good versus evil narratives, the show remains relevant and engaging for viewers across demographic groups. These current storylines, with their focus on family loyalty, temptation, and the consequences of ultimatums, exemplify why the show has maintained its position as a daytime television institution for decades. Industry analysts note that these particular narrative arcs represent some of the strongest writing the show has featured in recent years, with character motivations that feel authentic rather than contrived to serve plot requirements. This commitment to character-driven storytelling suggests that The Bold and the Beautiful is entering a creative renaissance that longtime fans will particularly appreciate. Next, we will learn about the shocking pregnancy scheme that could be brewing in Luna Nozawa's devious mind as she sets her sights on securing a permanent place within the prestigious Spencer dynasty. The Bold and the Beautiful's latest storyline developments suggest an alarming possibility on the horizon. Luna Nozawa may be contemplating the ultimate manipulation tactic, orchestrating a pregnancy to cement her connection to the Spencer family through Will Spencer. This calculated strategy would represent a dramatic escalation in Luna's obsessive pursuit of Spencer family integration, potentially creating ripple effects throughout the Los Angeles social landscape for years to come. Industry insiders with connections to the writing team have revealed that Luna's fixation on the Spencer family has evolved into something resembling pathological obsession. Her desperate need to belong to this powerful dynasty appears to stem from deep-seated insecurities and a craving for status that psychological consultants for the show suggest might originate from childhood abandonment issues. The character's willingness to go to extraordinary lengths, including potentially bringing an innocent child into her web of deception, demonstrates just how far she's willing to venture into morally questionable territory. The possibility of Luna deliberately engineering a pregnancy situation with Will Spencer represents a particularly troubling development in her character arc. Sources close to production indicate that upcoming scenes will feature Luna daydreaming about how a Spencer heir growing inside her would transform her position from outsider to indispensable family member. These fantasy sequences reportedly include visualizations of Will abandoning Electra Forrester to do the right thing by building a life with Luna and their child, revealing the elaborate scenarios Luna has constructed in her mind to justify her potential actions. What makes this potential storyline especially compelling is how it builds upon Luna's established pattern of manipulation. Veteran viewers will recall her shocking deception involving falsified paternity test results that temporarily convinced billionaire Bill Spencer he was her biological father. This wasn't merely a momentary lapse in judgment, but rather a carefully orchestrated scheme that required premeditation and technical knowledge to execute. The writing team appears to be establishing a consistent psychological profile for Luna as someone willing to use biological connections, real or manufactured, to force her way into the lives of those she targets. When her paternity deception eventually unraveled, Luna demonstrated remarkable adaptability by immediately pivoting to a different approach. Attempting to seduce Bill Spencer with an unexpected kiss, this flexibility in her manipulation tactics suggests that Luna possesses a dangerous combination of intelligence and immorality. She evaluates each situation pragmatically, adjusting her strategies when necessary without being constrained by conventional ethical boundaries. This character trait makes her potential pregnancy scheme entirely consistent with her established behavior patterns. The evolution of Luna's relationship with Bill Spencer adds another fascinating layer to this developing storyline. What began as a romantic pursuit has transformed into something more complex, a platonic bond that nonetheless served Luna's purposes temporarily. Bill's compassionate intervention in securing Luna's release from prison demonstrated his capacity for kindness, even towards someone who had deceived him so profoundly. However, his subsequent decision to expel her from the Spencer mansion following her pardon revealed limits to his forgiveness and willingness to integrate her into his family circle. This rejection appears to have been a pivotal moment for Luna, forcing her to recalibrate her approach to securing Spencer-Rabelais connections. With the direct path through Bill now closed, Luna has strategically redirected her attention to Will Spencer, a younger, potentially more vulnerable target who might be manipulated through different means. Production sources hint that upcoming episodes will feature Luna conducting research into Will's background, preferences, and relationship history with Electra Forrester, demonstrating the calculated nature of her interest rather than genuine romantic attraction. The potential pregnancy scheme represents a particularly insidious form of manipulation because it would create an innocent third party, a child, who would become an unwitting pawn in Luna's machinations. Ethical consultants brought in by the production team have reportedly advised on how to handle this sensitive storyline in a way that acknowledges the serious moral implications while still delivering compelling drama. The writers appear to be constructing a narrative that will explore the psychological consequences of such manipulation not only for the victims but eventually for Luna herself. Luna's internal monologue, as revealed through upcoming soliloquy scenes, apparently includes rationalizations about how a pregnancy would benefit everyone involved. She convinces herself that as the mother of the newest Spencer heir, she would secure not only financial stability for herself, but also provide Will with the opportunity to become a father, something she believes would ultimately make him happy despite the circumstances. This self-deception allows Luna to frame her potential actions as beneficial rather than exploitative, a psychological mechanism that enables her to proceed without confronting the true nature of her behavior. The ripple effects of Luna's potential pregnancy scheme would extend far beyond her immediate targets. Sheila Sharp, Luna's grandmother and a character with her own notorious history of manipulation, would reportedly be ecstatic about the prospect of a great-grandchild. This reaction would create an interesting parallel between the two women, highlighting how destructive behavioral patterns can echo across generations. Costume designers have reportedly created wardrobe selections that subtly emphasize the visual similarities between Sheila and Luna in scenes where they discuss family legacy, underscoring this thematic connection. Dr. John Finnegan's potential reaction to becoming a grandfather adds another compelling dimension to this storyline. Luna appears to believe that a grandchild might bridge the emotional distance between them, forcing Finn to acknowledge their biological connection in a way he has thus far resisted. This calculation demonstrates Luna's fundamental misunderstanding of Finn's character. His medical training and ethical principles would likely make him more, not less, concerned about a child being conceived under manipulative circumstances. This disconnect between Luna's expectations and reality could set the stage for dramatic confrontations if her scheme moves forward. The writing team seems to be carefully constructing this narrative to explore broader themes about family, belonging, and the ethical boundaries of reproductive choices. By positioning Luna's potential pregnancy scheme as the culmination of her increasingly desperate attempts to secure Spencer family connections, the show is creating a storyline that challenges viewers to consider complex questions about the meaning of family and the psychological damage that can result from treating relationships as acquisitions rather than authentic connections. As Luna contemplates this drastic step in her obsessive quest to become part of the Spencer dynasty, viewers are left to wonder whether she will actually cross this line and what consequences might await if she does. Will she successfully manipulate Will into a compromising situation? Could a pregnancy announcement be looming in upcoming episodes? And perhaps most importantly, how would the various family members react to such news, especially if they began to suspect the circumstances behind the conception? The Bold and the Beautiful continues its tradition of exploring morally complex situations through character-driven storytelling. Luna's potential pregnancy scheme represents one of the most ethically challenging plotlines in recent memory, promising dramatic confrontations, unexpected alliances, and perhaps eventually a reckoning for Luna herself. As she makes predictions about her next chapter, viewers are left to wonder whether that chapter will indeed include pregnancy news and what price everyone involved might pay for Luna's desperate need to belong. Stay tuned to our channel for continuing coverage of this developing storyline and expert analysis of the psychological, ethical, and dramatic implications as they unfold in the coming weeks. The Bold and the Beautiful appears poised to deliver some of its most compelling and controversial content yet, challenging viewers to consider the lengths to which some people will go to secure the catchings they believe they deserve.